Otis's surprise, Mrs. Gittler smiled and said, "I have a different plan for the 3 extra boys." Now what? Wondered Otis, thinking he might get into something worse than folk dancing. "We are going to have a bullfight in the center of the circle of dancers. One boy will be a toreador, and the other 2 will wear a bull costume." Mrs. Gittler paused while the class laughed at the thought of 2 boys dressed up like a bull. "At the end of the dance, when the toreador wins and the bull falls down, the girls will all take flowers out of their hair and toss them at the toreador." Otis was pleased with this idea. He could see himself dressed up like a bullfighter, waving his red cape in front of the bull and stepping nimbly aside when the bull charged at him. He would bow to the crowd while the girls showered him with flowers, and the audience cheered. Maybe he was going to like the fiesta after all. Mrs. Gittler spoiled his daydream by saying, "Otis, since you do not care about folk dancing, you may be half the bull." The class laughed. "The front half or the back half?" Otis wanted to know. "The front half," answered Mrs. Gittler. "Stuart, you may be the other half. George, you may be the toreador." Otis could see that George felt pretty good about being the toreador. Oh well, thought Otis, being the front half of the bull was not so bad. It was better than folk dancing, and he and Stewie ought to have fun. Then Mrs. Gittler had the 3 boys practice bullfighting. Stewie put his hands on Otis's hips, and the 2 boys charged at George, who twirled an imaginary cape in front of them. When George pretended to stab the bull with a sword, Otis and Stewie fell to the floor. "All right, Otis," said Mrs. Gittler. "I don't think it is necessary for the bull to die with his front feet in the air. Falling to the floor is enough." Otis lay on the floor and watched George bow, as the girls pretended to throw flowers at him. He thought George looked very pleased with himself. When the bell rang for recess, Otis followed George around singing, "Toreadora, don't spit on the flora. Use the cuspidora, that's what it's a for." Of course, Stewie joined in. Otis was a little disappointed when George only grinned and said, "Keep quiet." When the afternoon of the fiesta finally arrived, all Rosemont School bustled with excitement. The teachers wore white blouses, long, full skirts, and flowers in their hair. Even Mr. Howe, the principal, wore a Mexican hat and a red sash. While the ladies of the PTA worked to get the cookie and punch booths ready on the playground, the teachers worked to get the children ready inside the classrooms. Mrs. Gittler's face was flushed. She was hurriedly fastening paper stripes down the legs of the boys' jeans with Scotch tape. Otis and Stewie already wore the leg parts of their costume, which looked like pajama pants made out of gunny sacks. They were practicing walking like a bull. Otis had worked out a few variations, like skipping backwards. He could hardly wait to get the top part of the costume. The girls, who were wearing white blouses and full skirts with crepe paper ruffles pasted around the hems, were busy pinning flowers in their hair. "Now, Otis, I want you to behave yourself," said Mrs. Gittler, as she started to tie crepe paper sashes around the boys' waists. Otis, who had not done a thing yet, felt a little guilty. How did Mrs. Gittler know that he was looking around for a little excitement to stir up? Otis watched Ellen Tebbitsuntil tug at a lock of her hair, and he heard her say to Austin Allen, "I wish my hair would hurry up and grow long enough for pigtails." Then she tipped her head back and shook her hair, so it brushed against the back of her neck. "It feels longer when I do this," she explained. Otis enjoyed teasing Ellen more than anybody. He did not know what it was about her that made him feel that way. Maybe it was because she was so neat and clean and well-behaved. Or maybe it was because he knew he could always make her mad. Now he tipped his head back in imitation of Ellen. "I wish my hair would grow long enough for pigtails," he said in a squeaky voice. "Oh, for goodness sakes," snapped Ellen. "Oh, for gunny sacks," said Otis.